The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.
Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. Just a day after the Haryana election results, Congress is now facing a backlash from its India alliance partners. They are all questioning Congress's strategy, saying that they need to rethink before the Maharashtra elections. Now, I'll give you some examples. Uddhav Thackeray has questioned the strategy for the assembly elections. Arvind Kejriwal has said that this is a sign of overconfidence. Manish Sisodia says that again, this is a case of election strategy going wrong. Priyanka Chaturvedi from Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray group has said that Congress needs to realize that whenever it is contesting alone, it gets weakened. Then CPI General Secretary D. Raja has said that Congress needs some serious introspection and it should take along all the India bloc partners in Maharashtra and Jharkhand. So that is what D. Raja is saying. Now, Samna, which is a mouthpiece of the Shiv Sena, has also published an editorial, and they are saying in Hindi, if I may quote, "Jeeta hua chunav kaise harti hai Congress." This is what they had to say, and several others have commented. But the big question is that what is happening within the Congress camp today? Are they rethinking? Are they going to re-strategize? And what is going to be the impact of all the India alliance partners now speaking vehemently against Congress? It's not that the alliance will break or it'll dwindle, but yes, they are all showing Congress the door, if not the door exactly, but showing the position so that, the Congress doesn't seem to be in a pole position during the seat sharing talks, whether it is in Maharashtra or in Jharkhand. So we'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me now is TK Rajlakshmi, Senior Deputy Editor of the Frontline. Thank you so much, Rajlakshmi, for joining. We have Puneet Nicholas Yadav, Senior Editor with The Federal. And let me begin with Puneet. Puneet, if you have spoken to the people in Congress, I really want to know from you as to what is happening within the Congress camp. Are there a string of meetings which are happening? And are they going to really introspect as to what has gone wrong? Will the heads roll? What is really happening?
Well, thanks, Neelu. But I think, this is a bit of a trick question because when it comes to introspection, we know the way the Congress party introspects when it comes to its, poll debacle. When they win an election, everything is, of course, absolutely fine. But when they lose, the standard procedure is they set up a committee which will go into the reasons for the defeat. And what that committee finds out and what it recommends is never made public. And it's very rarely, in fact, even shared by with people within the party or, those who are direct stakeholders in that particular election. So while talk of introspection, of course, is all right, and it is happening, even Jairam Ramesh yesterday, while briefing the media on the results, spoke about, analyzing and assessing the results, although they largely blamed the Haryana defeat, as you pointed out in your discussions yesterday, on a victory of the system, vis-a-vis a defeat for democracy. That's how they put it. So yes, I mean, one can say that there is introspection, but my problem is what kind of introspection? That introspection has largely so far, whoever I've spoken to, has basically boiled down to blame game. It was Huda's fault, it was Shelja's fault. Everybody else was at fault except for the party and the party high command. Now, that is hardly introspection. So, as things, stand with regard to rethinking strategy and all that, that is where things stand. I don't think that they've really rethought anything as of now. It's also too early, of course. But the process that they normally follow for introspection is something that in itself perhaps needs introspection.
Rajlakshmi, if you look at Jairam's comment today, and Jairam, I wrote down what exactly he said. Now, he has advised the allies of India partner to observe the coalition dharma. He says that, we should not talk through the media. We are partners. We can talk to each other. And because what I saw, Sanjay Singh and several other leaders have given bites And obviously, the reporters must have gone to them and for their reactions. So they've all spoken, whether it is D. Raja, whether it is Sanjay Singh. Sanjay Singh, in fact, I saw him on one of the channels saying that Congress always is delayed in its decision making, and this is one of the biggest, shortfalls of Congress. And then he's gone ahead and said that have had Congress decided on giving 2 or 3 or 4 seats to its partners in Haryana, then even Arvind Kejriwal would have campaigned for Congress. Then Akhilesh Yadav would have campaigned for Congress. So this is what he has pointed out. Now, what do you think is going to be the impact of statements coming, from the likes of Sanjay Singh and several others?
See, I don't think the Congress needs to be so touchy about about coalition partners or about the India alliance partners speaking out at this juncture. They are going to speak out because obviously they share a common concern, that of keeping secular democratic forces together and keeping communal forces at bay. So if that is the prime sort of concern, then I'm sure the Congress should be open to should open itself, to criticism, and of course into introspection, also, which it should do within its party, within its fold. But if if political parties, of the India bloc are reacting like this, I think there is some basis to that reaction also, because in Haryana, in fact, Mr. Huda, right from day one, he kept on saying that, we will go alone, we do not need anybody. Okay, now when you sort of convey it in that form, either you're supremely confident, of winning on your own, and the other thing you convey is that we do not really need the allies, even if they're willing to help us, right? So there's a certain contempt, in that approach, and I think the fault actually lay there too. Yes, it could have, spoken to the Aam Aadmi Party. It did have a small alliance with the CPIM, but it was only on one seat. It could have spoken also. It could have reached out to other parties too. It's just a question of I think playing the role, of a leader, and sort of convincing, because see, parties like the JGP and the INLD did not go with the BJP. Ultimately they fought alone, right? And of course, the BSP, has always been a little bit, ambivalent. So one can't discount how it would have reacted. But the Azad Samaj Party, definitely, I think here, there is an expectation uh, that the Congress should lead, right? And that the Congress is, at present, it has the largest number of, in fact, largest presence, in the opposition, at least in parliament. So I think, there is an expectation, in terms of electoral strategies, that the Congress would come forward with a strategy. But here, if the Congress says, as it did in Haryana, that we are fine going alone, and that we do not need anybody, you're almost saying that, perhaps, we might not need you also in the Maharashtra elections. We might also not need you in the Jharkhand elections. So we are yeah, we are sort of suffused with this understanding that there's a groundswell of support for us,
Hmm.
and that the BJP is down and out completely. You see,
In
so
fact,
I think
this editorial which has come out in Samna, it clearly points out that Haryana election is a lesson for the Maharashtra Congress. That is what
yeah.
they have written.
Yes, absolutely. So I think there are lessons to learn here, to be more accommodative, to also sort of and not be overconfident. I think because they won 5 out of the 10 seats in the Lok Sabha elections. They took a lead in I think 46 assembly constituencies. So they felt that they are going to retain this, and they felt that they might even do better. But what they did not sort of discount for, also was that there were several fault lines within. And those fault lines, I think, needed to be addressed. We felt that the public anger was so much that it would, go in favor of the Congress, willy nilly.
Right.
But obviously, I think several of us also got it wrong in that sense.
No, but what is interesting is that the way the parties have reacted, and Puneet, I'll just show you this on the Samajwadi Party handle. They've come out with this list of candidates for the by-elections, and they've come out with the names also, and they've not bothered to speak to Congress. And I found this really funny. I'll just share the names so that you have an idea. They've come out with the names for the Karhal constituency, that is 110, seat number 110. Tej Pratap Yadav is going to contest. Seema Mau, that is Srimati Naseem Solanki. Phulpur is Mustafa Siddiqui. Milkipur, Ajit Prasad. Katehri, Shobhavati Verma. And Manjhava, Dr. Jyoti Bid. Now, these are the names. This is the first list of the by-elections. Now, why do you think that Akhilesh would have just gone ahead and, without discussions? Now, is he trying to send a message to the Congress? Because so far what we've seen is that a good camaraderie was seen between Rahul and Akhilesh. But suddenly, a day after the Haryana defeat and coming out with this list, the first list for the by-elections looked a little strange. So what do you think is Akhilesh's message?
Nilu, there are different ways of looking at this. One is certainly that the names that they've come out with are not names for constituencies which surprise me particularly. Karhal was Akhilesh's own seat. There was no way he was going to give that seat to the Congress. Majhava, again, although Majhava was a seat that the Congress would have been interested in, because it's a constituency near Allahabad, and Allahabad is a seat that is currently represented by a Congress MP. The catch there is that Congress MP has been loaned to the Congress by the Samajwadi Party. He's, he is Revti Raman Singh's son, Ujjwal Raman Singh, who is, Ujjwal Raman Singh, Revti Raman Singh was one of the founding members of the Samajwadi Party. And it was after the Allahabad seat was given to the Congress in the seat sharing arrangements during the Lok Sabha elections that the Congress actually, because they didn't have any candidate there, the last time the Congress won the Allahabad Lok Sabha seat was 1984 when Amitabh Bachchan won it. After that, they've never won that seat. So they had gone to, and I'm privy to those negotiations. They went to Revti Babu. He was, in fact, keeping very unwell at the time. And they asked him that, if you cannot contest, can we field Ujjwal from the seat? And so, their own Lok Sabha MP from Allahabad is on loan from the Samajwadi Party. So, why will the Samajwadi Party give away any constituency in Allahabad or around Allahabad, in the areas of Revti Raman Singh's influence to the Congress? So in that sense, the SP fielding or declaring the candidates on these seats is understandable. The other thing also is that, none of these seats that are going for by-polls were held by the Congress anyway. So that's also true. But yes, this is also a pressure tactic. This is also a tactic to show the Congress its place that, look, you cannot keep, you can't have this big brother attitude anymore. You need to be accommodating of the allies. And this was very much expected once the Haryana results panned out the way they panned out. Or how the Congress performed in Jammu. I had, in fact, done a piece saying that, these results are going to significantly dent the Congress's bargaining power in the alliance talks. And I had spoken to, leaders from the NCP, Sharad Pawar's faction, from Uddhav's faction of the Shiv Sena, from the JMM, all of whom said that, look, this is going to impact seat sharing and it gives us more room to, bargain. And see, we're talking about Maharashtra, of course, rightly so. It's the largest of the three states that will have elections. But let me tell you, the Congress is going to be in for a lot of hard bargaining when they start their negotiations for Jharkhand. Because Jharkhand, if you see the Lok Sabha results, there was a very clear, just like you had a Jat versus non-Jat narrative, play out all of yesterday in Haryana. In Jharkhand, there's a tribal versus...
Right. Sorry to interrupt you. The news just coming in is that a delegation from the Congress is going to meet the ECI, Election Commission.
Election Commission, yeah.
Okay. So, and since we are talking about the introspection and what Congress is going to do, so what is it achieving now by going and visiting the Election Commission of India rather than not introspecting on what's gone wrong within the party?
No, well, I think this meeting with the Election Commission is largely optics. because nobody, even within the Congress, even those who are actually going right now, Pawan Khera and Jairam and Abhishek Manu Singhvi and all these guys who are going to meet the election commission, even they know that it's not going to achieve anything. But it's basically a case of optics where you're trying to basically show that, look, after the defeat, we're not just sitting down and relaxing. It's not business as usual. We are still on our feet. They should have been on their feet before the elections also. But then they're trying to basically project that at the moment. That we are reaching, asking the election commission, we're raising our objections, we're putting forth our queries, all of that with regard to how the counting was done, the other complaints that came. So, of course, all those things are there. But back to what I was talking about, Jharkhand. Jharkhand is again getting divided on a tribal, non-tribal binary. Now, there, the JMM seems very assured of itself of retaining the tribal vote share, despite Champai Soren, switching to the BJP and all of that. The problem for them is the areas of OBC dominance, or the few areas where you have forward classes. That is the area that the JMM wanted the Congress to deliver to it. And even in the Lok Sabha elections, the Congress failed spectacularly. And those were again areas where the Congress was in a direct contest with the BJP. So this whole thing that you were also reading out, reactions, where the India partners are largely saying, and it's not incorrect to a great extent, that when it comes to a direct fight with the BJP, the Congress is not able to get its act together. So whenever there are alliance talks, in the backdrop especially.
But what you're saying, and despite all of that, if you look at Jairam Ramesh's statement, and I'll again focus on what he said. He says in Maharashtra, Congress is the first. Congress is in the first place, and coalition dharma should be followed. Now he's trying to say that. Now, what does that statement mean? And what is he? What
No,
is the
but
message?
this is the posturing that is going to continue. See, I'm given to understand that the alliance, one preliminary talk of seat sharing has already happened, which didn't go, get anywhere. So, because both Uddhav and Sharad Pawar were of the view that we will talk seat sharing after these assembly results are out. Whether they knew something which the Congress didn't, I can't say. But they wanted the talks to happen after the results. Now that the results are out, I'm given to understand, post Dussehra, they will sit down to have seat sharing talks for Maharashtra first, and after that for Jharkhand. Now, this kind of posturing is normal. They are going to, the Congress, and it's true, the Congress has the largest share of the Lok Sabha seats from Maharashtra at the moment. If you compare it with what the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Shiv Sena and Sharad Pawar's NCP has. So all parties will use their, whatever they have to bargain. The other thing that, to my mind, that one needs to understand here is that, look, it's all right to talk about the India alliance, whether, the India partners are attacking the Congress now, how it is panning out, all of that and stuff. But please tell me, once the Lok Sabha results were over, in terms of the alliance per se, where, barring, minus out what their combined floor strategy in the Lok Sabha or in the parliament session was. But beyond that, has there been any activity of the India alliance as such? Have they done any joint conferences after that? And I'm saying minus whatever was happening in Parliament. Beyond Parliament, that alliance sort of, just, went up in the air. They did try in Haryana and, at Rahul Gandhi's insistence. But then the problem with the Congress also is, unlike the BJP where a Narendra Modi can, dictate terms, here, despite Rahul Gandhi being Rahul Gandhi, he's not able to dictate terms to his own, shatraks. He gets overruled. Or there are, clear complications that are created which, force the party to then abandon those plans. So there are, the working style of the Congress also is very different. The posturing of the India bloc as a whole beyond parliament, after the parliament elections, has been very different. One needs to also factor those things in, and then, wherever they have existing allies in the state level, those alliances predate the formation of the India bloc. So it's not as if Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray came together with the Congress after India was formed, or Hemant Soren came to the Congress after the India bloc was formed. These alliances predated the formation of the India bloc. And in all likelihood, they will continue. You will see these skirmishes with regard to seat sharing. Somebody saying we deserve more, the other saying no, we deserve more. That is going to happen. This is all. A lot of this is posturing, which of course doesn't discount the fact that the Congress needs a serious rethink. Of course, it does.
Of course. So, Rajlakshmi, this brings me to the final question, and that is that after the Haryana election, if you look at the political stock of Congress, does it appear as a party which has weakened its hold on the India alliance? Because that is something, and that was the focal point of the India alliance. Congress was the party which was driving the agenda, and now if all the alliance partners are getting back at Congress, showing Congress the position, and reminding Congress that your strategies are not right, so does it mean that the hold of Congress as a party within India alliance has got weakened?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't go that far, Nilu. I think the Congress still, as I said, is the largest bloc. In terms of being the largest, being the party with, the largest numbers, within the opposition, at least in parliament. And I think, and there have been some sort of setbacks, to the India alliance as such, to the India bloc of parties. Sitaram Yechuri, passed away. Okay, and in fact, at his condolence meeting,
Right.
in fact, all the India, I think almost all the India alliance partners were there. We had Farooq was there, Farooq Abdullah was there. We had representatives of the Congress. We had, in fact, Rahul Gandhi came, and we had several other leaders. The entire left was there, and then we had others too. Now, I thought that this was a good. In fact, the DMK was there, the NCP was there, right? So I think that I don't see any, any threat to the India bloc as such from within. But yes, the constituents do sort of have an expectation of each other also, because see, there are some things very common that all of them have endured, right? The central agencies, getting after them. It's not just a question of keeping communal forces at bay. There are several other issues as well. The whole issue of federalism, the whole issue of federal powers, and their, autonomies, right? So all these issues being there, they have, reason to be together. And I think they have, in fact, more than one reason to be together. So in spite of some kind of electoral setbacks, even so, Haryana, I don't think the Congress really did badly. Frankly, it didn't do all that badly. Because if it was really in favor of the BJP, I think would have really scored, far ahead, than what it. So I do not think that the outcome has been, such a bad thing after all. And it is from that the Congress should learn and should draw, some lessons. As far as saying things about like coalition dharma and all, I think these are best left, unsaid. I do not think that they should really say it, because ultimately, the fact remains that the coalition dharma is there to follow. You didn't spell it out really, you, unless some leaders want to make a point as such. But then, just making a point is actually no point at all, right? So so here I think they have to show, the magnanimity of of listening, and also of getting to talk to each other, in the backdrop of, in the backdrop of what has happened in Haryana. Now, as far as the JNK outcome is concerned, I think there the India alliance has done pretty well. So I do not think that it is that it's been sort of written off. Of course, the Gupkar alliance did not. Uh, uh, I think was not there in the form that we all thought it would be, because the PDP broke away. But I think the basic core of that Gupkar alliance is still there. You've got you've got the NC of the Congress and of the left. So I think that still remains. So I wouldn't really sort of write off that the India Alliance bloc is something that that is facing any kind of a crisis, imminent or futuristic. I think they have sort of enough time to, I think, get their act together
Right.
um in terms of what's going to happen in Maharashtra as well as Jharkhand. Yeah.
Right. So we'll have to wait and watch. And yes, what you said was right that probably Congress needs to be more accommodative. They need to be listening to the alliance partners more intently now. But we'll have to wait and watch how things unfold and how Congress gets its acts together. I'm sure they would realize the kind of mistakes they've made in Haryana, and so that those mistakes are not repeated in states like Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Thank you so much, Raj Lakshmi. Puneet, it was wonderful having you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us a feedback, and stay tuned to the Fed.
The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.